Welcome to the Raptors podcast with your boy, Mike. As we're talking today, we're going to obviously talk about the Raptors and the Utah Jazz game from yesterday. Now, here's the thing. The Utah Jazz is like my second favorite team besides the Toronto Raptors, but I know they're on rebuild right now, so I'm just all for the rebuild. I'm all for just continuing the rebuild. Let's try to get number one, whatever. It's cool. And I may talk about a little bit of context during this podcast as well. But primarily, we're going to talk about our Toronto Raptors as they just defeated the Utah Jazz 114-82. And in saying that, how proud of you guys are of your Toronto Raptors. You know what? We didn't know what this season... This is preseason. At the end of the day, we shouldn't go into it as thinking anything of it. It's just preseason. You never know. If we had lost, what are you going to think? You're going to overreact? You don't overreact. You just want to see if the team that we have has grown. We want to see if the team that we have has improved. If Pascal's improved, OG's improved, Scotty Barnes has improved. That's what we want to see from our Toronto Raptors. And I think we saw a lot of flashes. We saw a lot of great things. I know there's certain people I want to talk about that I'm proud of. But before I even go deep dive into it all, please make sure you subscribe. I will do a lot more content very soon. I'm trying to do content, not daily, but I'm trying to do content a lot. I'm trying to do content a lot as much as I can to, I love the Raptors, love talking about them. So yeah, I plan on doing more, but let's deep dive into what we saw. Maybe I may talk about something else. We'll see. Like I'm saying, it's preseason, guys. Don't review it too much. But like what you want to like. I say preseason, it makes you're picky during the preseason. You choose what you want to choose. You like what you want to like. This was a pretty good game, but Utah's not a great team. Some of the highlights that I think we all can talk about is the play of Chris Boucher and Precious Achiuwa. What a good game from both of them. Chris Boucher with 11 and 10, only playing 14 minutes, a plus 16. I think that's the highest plus minus in the game. That means when Chris Boucher was on, good things were happening. And I think what we've seen from Chris Boucher is he's established his role. He knows what he wants to be on this team. We know what we should expect from him on this team. And he's delivered, He's been delivering it since the second half of the season. I think a lot of people on this squad have had a great second half, and I think he's one of those people. So I'm expecting Chris Boucher going into the season to be a great energy guy, to be a great guy who can be a change of pace, to be a person who, can get us rebounds, play tough, shoot the three at a 35 clip to 40 clip rate. We're hoping closer to 40 because he's coming off the bench. We're hoping that from a Chris Boucher. But he had a really great game that I think we're all impressed by what we saw. Probably the player of the game overall. Now, Precious Achiuwa, once again, I think we're all about to fall in love with him. Precious Achiuwa, he's developing. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they had mentioned the fact that maybe I think his last name is Herbert, but the first name is mistaken me. I know it was on the Locked On podcast with Sean Woodley. Shout out to Sean, he's a great guy. That the hot take that he had was the most improved player on this team will probably not be OG, right? The most improved player on this team is going to be Precious Achiuwa. And we all saw that drive, probably arguably the play of the game, his drive to that dunking on a man's head. And you're thinking to yourself, that's a guy that you're going to put at center. I know that ESPN, I'm looking at it right now, has him as a power forward, but he's not. He's a center. He's a center. Ultimately, if we had some bigger centers, you would want to put him at power forward. But right now for this team, we need him at center. But I think this team is really going to go positionless. I think that's the make of this team besides, Gary Trent and Fred VanVleet. And then even Malachi Flynn. I don't think we're going to see a lot of short guys. We're going to see a lot of length, a lot of 6'6" and above is what we're seeing from this team. But Precious Achiuwa, really good. 4 of 8, 1 of 2, and the 3-point, that's 50%. That's 50% overall. Scoring 10 points, 5 rebounds. I like what I saw. I think this year could be a big year for Precious. I think the ceiling of this team ultimately is how good Scotty Barnes could be and how good Pascal can be. But I think on that back end, how good Precious Achiuwa can be can really change the trajectory of this team. I think if Precious Achiuwa is great, if we're seeing that second half Precious Achiuwa, I don't know. The sky's the limit for this team. I'm not saying wishing championship. I'm not saying all that stuff. Obviously, want to win a title. I think the Raptors to win a title, we would have to upgrade in certain places, and I don't think we're there yet. But I just think Precious Achiuwa is one of those guys that he's gonna get a nice contract. I think his contract ends this year. I think it's the one contract we're not really talking about. But I'm pretty sure this is kind of his final season. But he's restricted, right? He's not unrestricted. I'm pretty sure the Raptors have his rights, so everything should be fine there. And ultimately, Chris Boucher and Precious Achiuwa had a phenomenal game. Once again, preseason, but you liked the flashes of what you saw. You appreciated what you saw from Chris Boucher and Precious Achiuwa. Now, a person I want to talk about is Kem Birch. Once again, people, stop hitting him. Please stop hitting him. He needs. I think we all need Kem Birch to be healthy. I think we just heard that with Kem Birch, he just said that he had a MCL tear, and he's feeling better, not to 100%, but he's feeling better. But there was a play that I noticed that it was Utah's ball. They're passing it around, and Kem Birch came from basically behind the basket and ran to try to block the shot, something that they normally do, try to block their corner three. And I saw the way he was running, and I'm like, you know what? That's way more healthier than we saw before. Last year, we never saw that. Last year, we did not see Kem Birch move the way he moved just now. I actually appreciate a lot what I saw there, because I hear a lot of people talk poorly about Kem Birch. I'm not gonna. I actually thought Kem Birch, I said in a weird world, Kem Birch could start for this team, because you have certain guys that you want to get the ball to, and you need someone to do a lot of dirty work, and I think Kem Birch can provide that dirty work. I think with the starting unit that we have now, not a lot of dirty work, Maybe Fred's going to do a lot of dirty work. I like the fact that Fred only played 10 minutes. I don't think we should be playing Fred or Pascal that much. And even OG, I think those three guys are going to play a lot throughout the season, throughout the playoffs. Scotty's still young. I still think there's still going to be some growing pains. He's going to play a lot of minutes, but he's also 20. So it makes a lot more sense. But yeah, with Kem Birch, I saw a lot. I'm happy with what I saw. Scoring 5 points. A lot of it was a free throw line, but the rebounds, once again, a plus 12. It's preseason, so I know we can't. Once again, it's preseason. I get it. But just seeing Kem Birch move the way he moved, I appreciated it. I liked it. It was nice. I think as Raptor fans, we should evaluate players a certain type of way. And looking at Kem Birch, someone who I think a lot of Raptor fans are really down on. A lot of Raptor fans are saying it's a 9-man rotation, which I'm going to get to rotation because it's not a 9-man rotation. I think it's almost dumb to say it's a 9-man rotation. I think Kem Birch deserves to be a part of the rotation. I honestly do. If it's 5 minutes, it's 9 minutes, I think he deserves to play. How do we just cut off Kem Birch for having a broken nose, a broken face, and a MCL tear? What type of understanding is that? That makes no sense. The man was clearly injured all year. All year he had something, and we're no, he's off the lineup. I think that's so finical, and then so Raptor fans could do better than that, but Raptor fans are not better than that. I find that it's a lot of judgmental on Kem Birch's play, and I just think what I saw from him today, him moving the way he moved, reminded me of what we saw in Tampa. And in Tampa, Kem Birch was a little bit more shifty, moved a lot more. And I think that's what we saw just now. So I'm almost expecting a Kem Birch bounce back season. Kem Birch is not going to give you 15 points a game. He's not going to give you 10 points a game. He's going to give you quality minutes. And I think that's what this team needs. Quality minutes. We didn't get to see Thad was only there for 5 minutes, barely. Still had 2 assists, which is pretty good. And then we didn't see Otto Porter. And that's someone I wanted to see. I wish we saw him, but I know the report came out that he's suffering. He's hurt. I know even with Justin Champagnie, who I really want to see play, he's also hurt. Which leads me to my topic. My next topic is the last roster spot. I think everyone has agreed that the other two roster spots are going to go to Juancho because they are paying him full guaranteed. And it's going to go to Delano Banton. I think that's the guaranteed it's going to Delano Banton. And I'm going to talk about Delano soon. But it's going to go Delano and Hernan Gomez. Hernan Gomez, he was okay. He was okay to me. I didn't think he wasn't exceptional, but he was okay. Bo Cruz was all right. Now, with Juancho, if you weren't paying him the fully guaranteed contract, which I think is like 1 point something, it's whatever, I would say you wouldn't include him. I would personally pick Delano Banton. I would pick DJ Wilson, and I would pick Justin Champagnie. Why would I pick DJ Wilson? I can see what they see. I can see what they see in DJ Wilson. I can see it. He actually can shoot the ball. He has a nice little, he can shoot the ball well. Like, if you even look at his stat lines for playing 15, he's 7, 3, and 6. That's not bad. That's not bad for someone who you didn't really expect all that. Yeah. So to me, if you ask me, I know Nick Nurse said that every game the coaches are putting a list of their top 3 guys. I'm putting Delano at number 1, of course. I'm putting Champagnie at number 2 because I just liked what I saw last year from Champagnie. And I'm putting DJ Wilson. I'm not giving up on Champagnie. I'm really not. I'm not going to give up on him. I know he's hurt, but it's one of those things. I think, if he was hurt and he was on the borderline of making the team, wouldn't he have played? Wouldn't the team have said, we want to see you play? Why almost penalize, just like a Ken Birch, penalize a guy for being hurt? That's how I see it. I don't want to penalize him. I think Justin Champagnie is good. I constantly have consistently said Justin Champagnie is the guy that's going to hit a big shot in a playoff game. It could be now. It could be later. He's going to hit a big shot. Quote me on this today. He's going to hit a big shot at a championship game. I just see it. I see it. He's not a championship. It's a playoff game. He's going to hit a big shot. He's going to hit a big corner 3. Guess what? I think he does. He's a great rebounder for his size. I think he's one of those guys who does the dirty work. He's not going to be a guy that's going to score 20 points a game. And nor does he knows his role. He's not going to be that guy. But he's a guy who's going to give you 11 points, 6 rebounds, maybe 3 assists one day. I can see it. So that's a guy that I would want to see play more. So that last roster spot is up for grabs. I think even Juancho's still fighting for that last roster spot. Josh Jackson actually played really well. Every time it looked like he was shooting, it looked like it went in. His stat line shows that as well. I liked what I saw from him. I will say that. I liked what I saw. Downton was okay. I think it's crazy. I think a lot of Raptor fans were really hyped about him. And I think you realize at one point, you're like, oh, wait, when it comes to the NBA level, he's not that guy, And I like that. I like his game a lot. One of those guys, I think maybe if he was in a Utah Jazz organization, maybe they would play him more to see what he can do. But I think with the Raptors team, I'm not too sure if we know what he's going to do. Harper Jr. is going to be in the 905, so I think we just have to see him develop as a player. I think when it comes to Greg Brown or whatever, what's his name? George Brown, Greg Brown? Gabe Brown. Every time I used to see him in the Rico runs, he was shooting the 3 crazy. Shooting the 3 he was shooting the 3 crazy. Now, if we get to the rookie, Koloko, he played well too. I think it's nice having a big, finally having a big. And I don't know why they're putting him as a center. He's the only 7-foot guy on the team. They put him as a forward on ESPN. Makes no sense. But Koloko played well. His first basket in preseason was from his Cameroon brother in Pascal. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I think they're going to play him 905. I thought he was a stronger guy. I thought he was bigger. He's not that big. He's skinny. He's real skinny. And I think he'll get bigger. He's still young. He'll get bigger. So that's fine. Give him 2-3 years. He'll get bigger. I'm curious what we can make of him. I think he could be a really good lob threat. He has the defensive intangibles to be a really good defender. So I think, he's just a development project. Honestly, he's just a development project. And we almost just have to wait and see. He's not going to shoot the basket well. I think they'll make his shot better. I think throughout the season, throughout the years, it's going to be better. Now, in regards to this team, Raptors as overall, people always talk about it being a 9-man rotation. Playoff time, most teams are like 8-man rotations, whatever. I do think this year we're going to see a lot more teams going deeper into their bench. I think the talent in the league is just increased. But I think the Raptors are a little deep. I do think they're deep. And I could be biased as a Raptor fan, of course. But you still have your guys. You have your first 5, right? The starting unit, Pascal, OG, Scotty, Fred, and Gary Trent. Okay. I don't actually agree with the starting lineup. I may make a video about it later. I actually don't agree. I think we do need a big. I think putting Pascal at the center, not a fan of. And I know the only guys you got to worry about is an Embiid. And I know at the end of the game, that's the 5 you're probably going to go with. Just not comfortable with it. I think you're potentially leading Pascal to have foul trouble early. I know the mismatch is nice on the other hand, but I'm not a big fan of it. The first game of the season against Cleveland, I think that starting unit is fine, right? And I know there's not a lot of bigs. There's only Joel Embiid and Jokic but if they're facing JaVale McGee, I think Scotty can guard JaVale. It's one of those things that it's okay. It's not that bad. But I don't know. I just don't want Pascal to be getting foul trouble. That's just my thought process. Now, with the bench, we all say it's a 9-man. So we have the first 5, like I mentioned. Then we have a Chris Boucher, a Precious, who are the 2 guys guaranteed to have minutes. I think those 2 are the most guaranteed. So that's the 7 guys. Guaranteed to get minutes. Guaranteed. You brought Otto Porter. He's going to play. I actually don't think he's going to play a lot. I think he's really there for veteran presence, communication. He may play more in the playoffs time. I think he's one of those guys you may rest a little bit more. Thad Young, same thing. I think we're not going to play Thad Young that much. I really like Thad Young. I think what he brings, he brings great leadership for the team. I think he's going to help talk to the guys a lot. He's going to play, but you still have those 2 guys. So that is already the 4th. So everyone's saying that's your 9-man rotation. That's it. That's your 9-man. Okay. Then, to me, you have Kem Birch. You got to play Kem Birch. He's one of your strongest players. So you got to play him against the Embiids of the world, the Jokic's of the world. If they're getting hurt on the center position in the back end, I think you got to put it in Kem Birch. So that's arguably the 10th guy. But the 10th guy is an argument for depending on matchup. But I also think Otto Porter and Thad Young are depending on matchup too. I think the only guys coming off the bench that are guaranteed are right now Chris Boucher and Precious Achiuwa. The other 2 guys who I don't want to forget. So right now I already went 10 guys. Now, the 2 guys who are going to get minutes, and one of them is probably going to get a lot more minutes. I don't know who, though. But Delano Banton and Malachi Flynn. Both guys who are pretty good this preseason game. I actually liked the way Malachi played. And if Malachi can hit his 3 at a consistent rate, he is going to play more minutes. Simple. Malachi plays more, and he's consistent. And he hits his 3. He's gonna play. There's no doubt about it. I think we are really. I think we're gonna see a better season from Malachi. Now, one reason why we're gonna see a better season from Malachi, who if he plays really well, is gonna get traded. Him and Kem Birch, that's the way it's looking. Because Delano Banton is pretty good, and everyone who watches Delano Banton falls in love with him. Everyone falls in love with Delano Banton because he's fast, he's quick, he's different. I'm going to call it now. Delano Banton is basically the way the Raptor fans saw Pascal and Fred back in the day. Even OG. Delano Banton is that guy. He's the guy that everyone's like, wow, in the future, this guy can be really good. Now, if Delano Banton's hitting his 3s, then sky's the limit. Sky's the limit because of his length and size, ability to go into the basket. Sky's the limit for him. But that already goes, 12 guys I've just mentioned? They're actually not going to play 12 guys. They're going to go matchup dependent. Some days you may need to go Thad Young and Otto Porter. Some days you're going to go Malachi and Delano Banton. I think one thing we realized that, Fred really doesn't have to play a lot of minutes if we put a Delano or a Malachi. I do think we're going to need to consistently have a point guard. I know they want to pull up lineups where Scotty or Pascal are the point guard, but I don't think you have to. I think Malachi can be serviceable. And I think Delano Banton can be serviceable. As long as you have, a Pascal on the court with those guys, Pascal and bench units, things like that can work out. Or have, at the end of the day, I think the two guys that have to be on the court at all times is Pascal and Fred. Eventually, it's going to be Pascal, Fred, and Scotty. One of those guys have to be on the court. But as long as you have Pascal or Fred on the court to kind of chill everyone out, organize the team, I think we'll be fine. But yeah, that's how deep I think the Raptors are. I think they're almost 12 deep. I think there's 12 guys that deserve minutes. Now, I haven't talked about Justin Champagnie, who I still want to see play minutes. That goes 13 for me, But that's what I think is exciting about this, is that the Raptors potentially have a deep roster that we all kind of want to see play. I think some people are going to want to see Bo Cruz play a little bit, which is good. I think this team could be really good, actually. I hear a lot of people actually predicting high. I hate that. I actually rather be underdogs. But a lot of people are predicting high for this team, and I think it's really good to see. This Raptors team has a lot of potential guys, a lot of potential young guys that can come up and do a lot of things for this team. I'm very curious how everything's going to turn out. I know Nick Nurse has it all in his brain of what he's going to do, but I quite frankly think this team could be, honestly, about 11, 12 deep. Depending on matchups, you may play Thad, you may play Otto Porter. The two guys are going to play for sure are Boucher and Precious. And then you just kind of see who you should play in. Thad, Otto, Delano, Birch, and Malachi Flynn. But I think, the sky's the limit for this team. I'm really happy to see what this team did. It's just preseason, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm more speaking on the fact that I think this team has a lot of potential guys. I think a lot of people that we want to see get some minutes. So I'm curious about that. So this week, I'm most likely going to do some more podcasts. I want to talk about, I'm going to do some videos as well. I want to just do, Raptors players' expectations overall. They'll probably be in podcast form. I probably will make my video about the top 30 players in the league. Also, some surprise teams in the East and West. And, a little bit of a controversy take that the Raptors are potentially in the middle, right? And why they're potentially in the middle. Sometimes you got to just be a little bit honest. Maybe the Raptors are not good enough to win the title, but they're not good enough to tank. Or not bad enough to tank, I should say. So kind of right in that middle. I think it's okay. I don't think it's bad. I'm just throwing it out there. But make sure you like and subscribe. There's more to come. The Raptors are it's coming. It's first game preseason. I know the next game is in a couple days. And I'll talk to you guys very soon. Enjoy, subscribe, like, and like I said, peace out.